Hello, hello, hello. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on what time it is where you are watching us from. My name is Olufolake Ayeyemi, and I'm the founder of the Bloom and Flourish Hub. We do apologize for the delay in starting network issues. I think the network is feeling the heat today, but we're here now, so we'll get on with it. We are here now, and we're going to have an amazing time. Thank you for being patient with us. And for anyone that will be watching the replay, thank you, thank you, thank you for joining us. Before we go ahead, if you haven't subscribed to the Bloom and Flourish Hub on YouTube, please do it now. It's better you do it now before you forget. So before we carry on, go on and click on that subscribe button, and also click on the notification bell so you can receive information and updates about different things going on this channel. If you're new to the Bloom and Flourish Hub, welcome. If this is your first time of interacting with us, thank you so much for being here. We are a community. We create a safe space for women age 30 and above to talk about different things pertaining to womanhood, different subjects, different topics, different life lessons, just anything relating to us as women from the age of 30 and above. Every month we have a live session, and the topic of our live session is usually our theme for the month. And our theme for the month of July is the multidimensional woman. And so today we've got a multidimensional woman in the house. So if you know any other multidimensional women anywhere in the world, send them the link right now. They need to be here. Send that link and let's all have this conversation together. I'm really, really excited. I won't say much. I'm just going to bring my guest on so that we can start to have this conversation. But please, please, please share this link as far and as wide as possible. So without further ado, I am going to bring up my guest.
Praise the Lord.
This is not YouTube behavior.
It's not YouTube.
It's not YouTube
I'll
behavior.
calm down. I'll be coming down.
Oh my goodness, I'm so excited.
I don't see.
I am so excited to have you live on the Bloom and Flourish Shop. And I think it's been a long time coming.
I
And for
know.
those who don't know, a lot of the background work we've been doing together. So to have you like live here is like, hey, clock
Clock
it.
it.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, let's be serious. Let's be serious.
Okay, yeah.
Okay.
Collect.
Welcome.
Thank you
Mrs.
very much.
Fabulous, welcome. I'm so excited to have you here.
You're
And
welcome.
we're just going to get right into it. Let's be a bit serious. Behave ourselves for our audience. And we're going to make a start. And
Mhm.
I'm going to ask you to please introduce yourself to our beautiful audience.
Thank you. One second before I introduce myself, am I looking at you now, or I'm looking at myself now? Because the
I see
technical
you. You
difficulty is
I know
causing
it
me
has
to
messed
be
up the plan.
by like Ibadan. I'm looking at Ibadan, but I'm looking at Oyo.
Oh
Where
God.
am I looking? Ibadan or Oyo? Like
You are looking in the right direction. And if your notes are on a separate screen, then
no,
so
my notes are here.
look now. Yes,
Ibadan,
yes. Yeah,
Oyo.
yes.
Which one? Ibadan or
Yes,
Oyo?
Ibadan now.
Ibadan. So
Yeah,
Ibadan is better to look.
it's better. Ibadan is better.
Somebody shout hallelujah!
Oh my God.
The devil is a liar.
The devil is a
The
liar.
devil
The devil is
couldn't
a liar.
have me, but God Jesus came around me and He held me close.
Wow.
Sorry. I was not going to sing, but the devil really tried. We want
You
to be
did it
messing with
right.
somebody. What is this? Yeah.
Oh,
Ladies and gentlemen, good evening, good afternoon, good morning, wherever you're watching us from. It is a huge pleasure to be a very special guest on this July occasion. It's not even August yet.
August.
The Bloom and Flourish Hub. Ladies, a round of applause for my fruitful fingers, Olufolake Ayeyemi. Thank you for putting this
Thank you.
together, and thank you for gathering women together and sharing advice, thoughts, and general tips of how we can all bloom and flourish. So I'll continue to be looking at Oya in Ibadan because I'm not
Yeah,
I'm not
we
quite
can
sure.
see you. That's
But
fine.
I'm okay. Anyway, so for those that don't know me, my name is Funke Bella, aka Mrs. Fabulous, aka Fabulous Funky, the one and only
Wife of Mr.
Mrs.
Fantastic.
Bella, aka Mr. Fantastic. So my name is Funke Bella on a calm note. My name is Funke Bella. I am a radiographer by day and an MC slash Alaga event host in the afternoon. And at night, I coordinate GC Mrs. Fabulous, which is a gathering of married women that aim to please God as they try and love their husbands even more. So, for now, I'm
Yeah,
happily married to Mr. Fantastic, and I'm blessed with two children.
yeah. Wow. Honestly, thank you for being here, Funke. And it feels like it feels like a joke, but it's not really a joke because, as I said previously, all of this bloom and flourish, everything from day dot, even before it became a seed, even it was just like, what is this thing? We've been on this journey together, and as I was preparing for this session and going through the theme of the month, I remember thinking that sometimes you have things close to you. You can really see, a really good thing in front of you. But many times, if you are not careful, you don't pay so much attention because of familiarity, because of closeness. And I was thinking of you and the enormous amount of things you do. I was thinking of you as an octopus, like you have your tentacles and they're all working at the same time. Like, I don't know. And you is that like you are never tired, you are never like, how do you do it? So I was just thinking, like, I think if you have something good, which I think I have, having you as my sister. By the way, people don't know this is my sister,
By
my
blood, by
blood,
blood, by blood.
same mother, same father,
Same mother, same father.
because I know some people think we're friends. I know a lot of people that
Mhm.
think we're friends. We're not friends, we're sisters. Anyway,
We're friends
um,
too.
yeah, well, we're friends too, but primarily, the blood is there thick. Um, I need to behave, okay? It's you. I don't
Applaud
behave
you,
like this.
applaud you,
I don't behave like this on
applaud
this
you,
show.
applaud you.
Yeah, so I was just really thinking that I would love to like share like you with the world, if that makes sense. Because to me, you are the picture of a multidimensional woman. You are a woman who has recognized the different giftings of God in your life, and you are flourishing and blooming in different areas. And as you use them, they're growing and expanding, and it's like a bottomless pot of goodness. So I'm really, really excited that you're here. So talking about the subject of being multidimensional, what does that really mean to you? Like multidimensional woman. How would you say? How would you define that?
Thank you, Olota, moderator. So, if I was to define a multidimensional woman, the first thing when I was thinking about this, the first thing that came to my mind is wearing several hats while juggling several balls. So we all know the analogy of the juggling the balls.
Mm,
People in the comment section, if you're aware of this analogy of
yeah.
juggling the balls, just do a like, a heart, a thumbs up, or something. I can't
Mm,
see the
yeah.
comment
Don't
section.
worry, I'll tell you what's going on.
Yeah, a lot of people are familiar with. So now try and picture multiple hats and multiple balls at the same time. But in this kind of situation, it's like a scenario that is almost self-inflicted, self-created.
Mm,
So the multiple hats, if I'm going by the hat of career,
mm,
and career in that career it's subdivided into things that are radiography based and things that are
mm,
fun based, things that are well-being based, all sorts of things. And if you want to go event MC, there's alaga, there's all sorts of things, there's organizing events, that like that octopus thing is, maybe it is actually true in a way. And then if you now go to the gist with Mrs. Fabulous stuff, so all these different things are are all different hats,
mm,
but I'm juggling them with all my different balls as a wife. as a mom, as all these different things that I
Yeah.
cannot afford to juggle my professional career while my children suffer. So
Yeah.
but I love radiography, but still my son has SATs to prepare for.
Mm-hmm.
So there's all these things, but it's like I'm dancing around the thing. I'm not doing it in a sad way. I'm not doing it in a, oh God, there's a lot to do. Oh
Mm.
Jesus, help me carry this body. No, I'm just one at a time. Today we are the multi-dimension, however many arms the octopus has. But today we are doing A, B, and
Mm.
C. And if we have time, we might do D. If we don't have time, we'll leave it at B. So
Mm.
the octopus will not come and kill herself and die away because the children are the glass balls, the husband is the glass ball. We cannot afford those to break, even as
Yeah.
much as we want to spread out.
Mm.
So I think maybe because I'm Christian, you're Christian, we know that all our multidimensional, all our tentacles that we're spreading is only by the grace of God that we're
Mhm.
even able to
Yeah.
attempt half of the things that we're doing. So
Mm.
we know that it's by His grace that we're able to spread our wings and fly and
Mm.
goals and have attain heights and dream big and all this
Mm.
stuff. But
Mm.
still, we have strategies that we've put in place to help those 6 or 8 arms of the octopus to continue to grab and to hold and
Mm.
to juggle and to
Yeah.
ensure things stay in place. So yeah.
Mm. Yeah, it's so good, so good. And I like how, so there's some of these balls are quite delicate. There's some of these balls that, they're like your priority balls. The others are like, no, they're all, you understand what I mean, but there's some that they're like, these ones I have to like have my eyes constantly. Your family, your children, your husband, and things like that. And it just kind of leads to my next question, just thinking about us as women, like every single woman, whether you're married, whatever your relationship status is, whether you have children or not, women, we are built to be multidimensional. We are built to, like, we adapt to different things depending on the situation at any time. Think, for example, as a mom, if your child is ill, you suddenly become that nurse. You don't have any nursing training. You become the nurse. If you need to, you become the driver. You become lesson.
Cleaner that
You
collects the
clean. You
poop and
so
yeah.
on top of that, that's even on the home front, not to even talk of you in your other expressions outside the home. So women, we just almost adapt to everything at the same time. And I think sometimes the danger, or I don't know if danger is the right word, but sometimes our identity then starts getting tied to all of those things that we do, so much so that we don't have a personal identity. So if any of those things is removed from us, it almost feels like we're naked. So for example, you are a fashion designer, for example, and for whatever reason, your life at this point means that you have to put that fashion designing to the side, and it almost becomes like, who then am I? So my question, just to avoid keep going round and round, is that how do you avoid all of the roles that you have impacting on your identity as a person? How do we avoid allowing those roles to become your identity rather than you being yourself and then doing all of those roles? I don't know if my question. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So
Yeah.
in a way, if I was gonna answer that question, I'd say number one, I'm Funke Bella. I'm
Mm.
the daughter of the King. I'm a
Mm.
child of God, and I know that He created me for signs and wonders. I get my source from Him. I
Mm.
am connected to Him. I have root in Him. I have stem and branches coming out of Him. So
Mm.
whatever the stem and the branch that is coming out of me as all my different expressions are
Mm.
coming from a firm rooted source, a
Mm.
firm rooted connection to my source. So
Mm.
I feel like it's easy to, oh, if for instance something happens with radiography now and I'm no longer a radiographer, would I still be a bubbly, happy Funke Bella that you meet in the street
Mm.
and you would you would remember that
Yeah.
would I still be that person if I wasn't a radiographer? Yes,
Yeah.
I would, because I'm not connected to radiography. I'm connected to a source that is, whether there's radiography or there's alaga or there's just with Mrs. Fabulous, that source is constant. That's the one
Mm.
thing that feeds. So if, for instance, my hope was built on radiography,
Mm.
then if NHS is privatized now and they say,
Mm-hmm.
oh, radiographers, we don't need your job, AI will take your job.
Yeah, I
That's
will do it.
possible. I say it with my full chest. If they say AI will take your job and the AI took their job, my enemy's job, AI, if AI took their job, would I now be depressed and
Mm.
miserable and be on
Yeah.
the, if
Yeah.
I took their job, I will go back to my source, the one that
Yeah.
created me. That, okay, oh, you know
Mm.
the end from the beginning. You knew that in 20 whatever AI was going to take their job, and AI is not taking their job. So you must have a plan. Like, okay, let's go back to
Definitely.
the original. So
Mm.
for me, that source is the thing
Mm.
that keeps the grounding. So
Yeah.
regardless of the different multi dimensions or multifacets or
Yeah.
multi everything, it
Mm.
is rooted in something. So
Yeah. Yeah.
even if I don't host Gist with Mrs. Fabulous again tomorrow, I will still be happy and happy in my, even if I just stay in this house and I don't
Mm.
do anything,
Yeah.
I would still, because I'm still connected to that thing that is feeding my energy, feeding my
Mm.
force, and feeding my. So I feel like if you have one a firm grip on your soul,
Yeah. Yeah.
an anchor on.
Mm.
So because storms of life will come, some people just suddenly lose their job.
Mm.
So because you have suddenly lost your job, now you come and die.
Yeah.
But if I know it will be hard, it will be heartbreaking, or whatever that thing is that you may
Mm.
lose, that may make you want to lose your identity because you've lost a dimension of yourself. If you're firmly rooted in Christ and you know all things work together for your good, He has great plans for you all the time. It
Mm.
might be it's taking you through a
Mm.
rough road, but He is taking you through.
Yeah.
So
Mm.
have I gone off my
No, you haven't. You haven't at all. And it's really, really important because we need to know who we are and whose we are. And
Mhm,
that's what you're saying. Like that's who we really are,
mhm,
who we belong to. Because then if things change, you know that there's a pilot, there's an anchor. You are not just up in the air. And like you said, it will be difficult, it will be hard as humans, when we don't know what's coming in the future. Of course we would, fret a little bit. But knowing that we have an anchor and we are not of ourselves is a really reassuring position to be. So that if anything, by any chance, if all of those things get stripped off, we're still at the core of our being, we're still, the person with all the values we carry, everything we stand for is still there. So we're still who we are, and we will be ready to like pivot to wherever God is taking us. So you're definitely on point, and thank you so much for sharing that. And
mhm.
before we carry on, I just want to say hello to our beautiful audience. Thank you for being there. I see you, Lachelle. Thank you, sis.
Amen.
And yeah, Lachelle was agreeing with you and saying He is the source, and that's absolutely true. God is the source, and once we stay plugged in, I think we're in the safe place. Even when sometimes the ride is a
Mhm,
bit rough and shaky, we know that He is our source. Hey, sis, nice to have you on board. If you have any questions for our special guest, Mrs. Fabulous, Fabulous Funky, wife of Mr. Fantastic, please, please put them in the chat and she will be more than happy to answer your questions. I still have a few more on my list, so I'll keep going until we get some from the audience. So we've said a lot of things about multidimensional, a multidimensional woman, and how we are, how we wear a lot of hats. We've even likened ourselves to octopus, yeah, and all of that. But I also know that being multidimensional also sometimes means that there's a lot pulling at us from left, right, and center, especially when you're somebody like you. that you are up and doing, you are up for, making yourself available for people. You will not hold back. You will stretch yourself to the limit. I've seen you do that many times, like to the limit, just to make sure everything else is in place for other people. So I'm just thinking of the pressure that comes from being multidimensional. Sometimes there's that pressure, there's that, it gets to a point where you're like, is it too much? And I just wanted you to talk a little bit about that. As a multidimensional woman, sometimes, or maybe I should put it as a question, do you sometimes feel any pressure from all of the demands of being a multidimensional woman? And if so, how do you manage that so that it doesn't become unhealthy? Because it's also important to be aware of that.
Thank you. Thank you. So my simple, before I start going off tangent, I'll go to the main answer, Gongon. My simple answer to that will be no is always an answer.
Yeah,
So as much as I love to help, I want to help, even it has been laid in my heart to help, sometimes I cannot do it.
physically do it.
It's
Yeah.
understanding, but because we put, sometimes these pressures are self-inflicted. We put
Mm,
ourselves under pressure because we're so invested in so many things and so many people and so many
yeah.
ideas and so many groups and so many,
Mm,
and each thing is pulling on us significantly. So,
yeah.
for instance, if I've got no time to rest for me, it's a bit silly on my part to continue to say yes and continue to accept engagement and requests to support or requests to volunteer while
Mm,
I know my body is about to give up.
mm,
So personally, I feel like no, no. Didn't somebody say that no, sometimes you don't have to explain why you say no, even
yeah.
because you know. Having said that, I know that in in some stages in our life, we need to be multi-dimensional, and it will stretch us. So I've left that. So maybe it'd be nice and helpful to separate it into different stages in life. Say, for instance, if you're just starting a new business, you're putting in all the hours,
Mm,
so, but you still have your day job and you're
mm,
putting in all your hours to your business. Of course, that is going to stretch you. Of
yeah.
course, that is going to drain you. You're
Mm,
going to feel like you're about to break. Are you not going to lose it if you carry on like this? But you have in the back of your mind that this stretching is at the beginning. It's not going to be like this forever. By the
mm,
time your business takes off and you have a good rhythm, you have a good pattern, you have a good plan, you have a good structure, you can
mm,
start using off, start delegating, start
yeah.
giving other people the jobs that you would have done by yourself
Mm,
at home as well. Certain things, some people would subcontract their cooking, subcontract their cleaning, subcontract their car washing, everything. They will subcontract everything until only the one that they cannot subcontract is left. Is using sense in my English book. So sometimes there is, say for instance, when your kids are babies, you
yeah.
cannot subcontract waking up in the night to feed them. But
Mm,
that time will go. But there comes a time in the growth of your children where they're no longer waking up in the night, or they should no longer be waking up in the night. But you have not, so put things in place, have a structure. So, as we said at the beginning, we are multi-dimensional, multifaceted. We have multiple skills and multiple talents, but we are connected to a source and we use a structure.
mm,
And we, maybe by the end of today, maybe I would have added to that line. We are connected to a source. We have multiple skills and talents. We use a structure and we learn to say no when our body is tired. So all of this fancy, lively, happy
mm,
thing,
mm,
if I put myself under undue pressure
yeah.
of delivering or pleasing or satisfying or coming through for people,
Mm,
yet my knee, this knee would go in. So I'm not doing myself any favor.
yeah.
So in different stages and phases of our lives. It might be
Mm.
up to us to actually identify the 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 to do's and the could be nice to do and the if I
No.
have time. Yeah, yeah, that kind.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. That's like a master. Like I feel like those 4 points that you said, we should just like capture them and then put them on like wall stickers or something so we can be seeing them. And I think that structure is very, very important. Having structures, having systems in place. Because truly, if we're not careful, it gets to a point where things we start dropping balls before we realize that things are getting out of hand. So having all of those things in place is very, 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 very important. Thank you so much for sharing that. That's really yeah, that's amazing. Thank you, and thank you our audience. I see Coach Coco in the house. Welcome, Coach Coco. Thank you for joining us. You are most welcome. If you have any questions for Mrs. Fabulous, aka no, I won't go do the aka. Let me stop. If you have any questions for Mrs. Fabulous, please do put them in the chat. If you know anyone that will benefit from having a chat, a discussion with us, please do share the link with them as well. So we've talked about the pressures, we've talked about, having those structures in place, being connected to the source, all the things that we need to do as women. And I guess also another thing to add to that is boundaries. I know that, I mean, that's almost like included in that total package. And being able to set boundaries, I think without the guilt is what I want you to talk about, because sometimes I know that sometimes for me, like you said, no is no. And I have one of the posts that we had on the Bloom and Flourish as well. One of the ladies was saying no is a complete sentence. Like you don't need to explain. But I think for me, I sometimes, and I don't know if that this happens to you, sometimes I find myself when I've said no, rethinking it and saying, maybe I should push myself a bit, or maybe, almost being guilty or justifying the fact that I should go back and turn that no to a yes, or to a modified version, out of guilt, really. So I want you to speak to that, being able to set boundaries without having that guilt. What do you ever find yourself in that situation? Do you even ever feel guilty for saying no? And if you do, how do you um how do you manage that, such that you don't it doesn't become, because you're trying to take pressure of yourself, that no that guilt will put more pressure on you. So how do you navigate that?
Mm. So I'll start off by thinking, why am I saying no? Say, for instance, we're talking about declining stuff without feeling guilty. Okay, I'm gonna go back to my earlier analogy by dividing things
Yeah.
into stages in life.
Mm.
So, for instance, if we go back to when the kids were younger,
Yeah.
if my children were hungry when they were 2 and 5, I would have to get up and sort them something out. That one I cannot. There's no boundary, and there
Don't.
will be no guilt.
Mm.
Right. So now, the age that my children are, I can decide to be in bed the whole day and not come out of the bed without feeling guilty.
Yeah.
Because why? Because number one, the children are older and the children have been built in such a way that they can fend for themselves. So it takes me to the point of preparation and planning. So before I can safely, for me, I would say is safely saying no to something, because
Mm.
safely saying no means I will not feel bad about not attending this event, or
Mm.
not doing whatever it is
Yeah.
that I've been asked to do.
Mm.
So if by doing this event or doing this activity or participating in this group, it would deplete the little energy I've got. Remember, my octopus has 8 arms.
Mm-hmm.
If by doing this one thing, it will remove one of the 8 arms, and one of the 8 arms is holding one of my glass bowls.
Mm-hmm.
I should have to say no
Yeah.
without, I've
Feeling
now I've
guilty.
analyzed why
Mm.
I'm saying no. I'm not
Yeah.
saying no just because it's Saturday. Saturdays are for resting. We are going to go to church tomorrow. Why would we go out again on Saturday?
Yeah.
It's too much. But I've analyzed it because by me going to this, it would remove me from doing something that would affect my glass balls, or uh, you know
Yeah.
or it would affect something that I would. So
Yeah.
if I can reassure myself that the reason why I'm saying no is actually very valid and it's for my own good and for the benefit of the important things to me, not that this other thing is not important.
Mm.
The second point I wanted to touch up on, uh, boundaries without guilt, is the point of preparation. So
Mm.
I touched upon the children, building
Mm.
them up to be able to
Mm.
stand for themselves when they're grown. If you use this same analogy in business, boundaries without guilt at the beginning of your business is borderline stupidity and not,
Mm-hmm.
you
Mm-hmm.
know, because at that point you're still preparing. If it's
Mm.
at the beginning of your career, boundaries without guilt, they will say, why are you not taking this opportunity? It's good for you. You will build your career, you'll build your business. You will be guilty because you will think, how can I lose this opportunity?
Mm.
But you have to wait against
Yeah.
everything else that you have planned for yourself.
Yeah.
So if you've prepared your career in such a way, or you've prepared your children in such a way, or you've prepared your business in such a way that you can easily say no without feeling, oh, if I don't attend this event, my children something something, or if I attend,
Mm-hmm.
so I have to wait. I have to
Yeah.
put side by side to something, and if I can justify it to myself, I will say no and will not bat an eyelid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
But it's
Yeah.
it's about actually analyzing it in, even in my head for myself, even
Mm.
before I respond to the need outside.
Yeah.
Can I fulfill this without
Yeah.
it affecting my core? Yeah.
Yeah. Absolutely. And you're so right. It has to do with you. It's your boundary at the end of the day. And many times we are thinking, oh, this person, or what will people say, or am I letting people down? But it has to align with your goals and your purpose at that particular time. And if that's the case, then you're definitely in the right. If anyone has issues with you doing something that aligns with your goals and they're angry about that, then that relationship should really be checked, I think. So absolutely. And I like what Lachelle said. She says that setting and maintaining boundaries is an act of self-love. If you
Absolutely.
love yourself, you won't put yourself in harm's way because you're trying to please other people.
Mm.
Boundaries are very, 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 very
It's
important. So
an
yeah,
act of self-love. I
thank
think we should write that one down as part of the
we should part
noted.
of the things that need to be put up somewhere that we will see every day.
Yeah, yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you to as many of our beautiful people that are still here with us. We
Mhm.
hope you're learning one. Actually, let's know in the comments, how is this going for you? Are you enjoying it? Do you have any questions? Just however it is that you're feeling, please put that in the chat and we would love to know. So I have a few more questions for you, Mrs. Fabulous. Um, and my next question is about just riding on Lachelle's comment about self-love and just linking that to self-care. Self-care is also a part of self-love. And as women, mm, I know that for me, I had to learn the hard way to stop and look after myself. I had to experience some life 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 occurrences for me to say, actually, I'm going to start to consciously take a break, because as women we feel like we need to keep doing. That's like almost our way of proving to ourselves that we are successful or that we're making progress. So and there's this very popular saying that is almost cliche, that you can't pour from an empty cup. You can only give what you have. Like if you are drained and you've worn yourself out, you are not of much value to the people that you are trying to look after, whether your family or any other thing that you are involved in. So I want to ask you about self-care, because I feel like it's a misunderstood a statement to you as a multi-dimensional woman, what does a healthy self-care routine, plan, what does that really look like for you with all the many hats and your many tentacles and all of the things that you do? What does that look like for you?
Mm. So I'm gonna go back to the structure that we
Mm.
used at the beginning. I don't know, people
Yeah.
that joined us halfway, as I'm looking at Ibadan, I'm looking at Oyo. Please help me translate it to people that don't understand because I
I
don't know
can't
where
help
the camera
I
is,
can't
whether
help
it's
you.
here or here. As I'm looking at Ibadan, I'm looking at Oyo, but we are referring to connected to a source, but using a structure.
Mm.
So the, for me, because you're asking me this question, so I will answer the question as
Yes.
how I am not, I am trying not to pour from an empty cup,
Yeah.
or from a half empty cup,
Mm-hmm.
because isn't it better to pour from a full cup?
Yeah.
So if we go back to that structure, in that structure, and what works for me won't be what works for my sister, even as
Mm.
close as we are.
Mm.
Each person's structure will be
Yeah.
entirely different, and I feel like to be able to pour from a full cup or not to pour from an empty cup depends on how you've built your structure yourself. So for instance, I'll use a real life analogy. Certain people feel if at the end of the day they don't watch EastEnders, they have not unwound and they have not relaxed and they have not calmed down and they have not chilled and they have not settled for the day. They have their cup of tea, they listen to whatever gossip is happening on TikTok. For them,
Mm-hmm.
that is calming, that is self-love, that is self-care for some people. Each person's routine will be entirely different, and I have no right to judge whatever
Yeah.
anyone chooses to do to collect themselves, as
Mm.
they say in English. Sorry,
I can't help you.
sorry, viewers, sorry, people that don't understand my English. Whatever you need to do to collect yourself, you are the one that knows how you are going to
Mm.
collect yourself. You are not collecting yourself from anything or anyone, but you are just gathering yourself. You are collecting a sharajo kind of thing. So for me, as an example, I work Monday to Friday, Saturday. I have made what is my gemo in English?
Cover like yeah,
Yeah, a decision
a
for
strong
myself,
decision.
a strong decision for myself, that no matter how I work, Sunday I will rest. And then so if you look at the months of the year, January, February, March, by March I must go for a break. I must take a break. April, May, June, July, certain months of the year I must take a
Oh,
1 week break.
yeah.
So I know that some people have that 7-7-7 rule. Every seven
Mm-hmm.
days you have a 7 hour, or every. It does not work for me because my life structure does not
Yeah.
flow like that.
Mm-hmm.
But for my life structure, you see my Sunday Amala post that I post is part of
Yeah.
it's
Self
part of my
love.
self-love, filling up myself, making sure for me, I have done what I like. I've tried to relax. I've tried to collect myself. I've gathered everything together and I'm ready to face the week again. So if I collect myself for 4 weeks, by the end of 1 month, I must have a way of collecting myself, maybe for a pedicure. I collect myself,
Mm-hmm.
I sit down, somebody will press my leg, bang, 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 put it in warm water. I relax, I collect myself again. So maybe in 3 months, so that's like a good structure.
Mm-hmm.
But each person has to have their own structure.
Yeah.
Because for
Yeah.
me, I'm collecting myself by sitting on Sunday. Some people cannot do that.
Yeah.
They can't stop on Sunday. Their own will be on Wednesday. But each
Mm.
person has to identify. In fact, you go back to your structure, you take your book and your biro, pens, and something.
Pen, pen.
You take your book and you say, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, which day of the week is my collection day? Not being no.
Listen.
Every Because you must have a daily collection, a
Mm.
weekly collection, a monthly collection. fortnightly or 3 monthly. You must have, and we're in the Super Working Mom, and they've even helped us to add another collection inside the Super Working Mom community. Because in the community, we have a collection in March where we go away to
Extra.
collect ourselves. And we have another collection in November. So even if you have not collected yourself the whole year, please, can you explain what the collection I'm trying to explain is the English? Sorry,
It's
I've
self-love and
yeah,
self-care. I mean,
that you're trying to collect yourself. If you have not managed to collect yourself, say life was lifing and everything was jamming, jammer, everything was all over the place. You could not even take a day off. By March, because by know how it will be hard to you you collect.
you
So
collect someone.
the long and short of that is each person needs to create their own pattern, their own structure that suits their lifestyle, that suits their family life, that suits their budget. At the end of the day, remember, some of the things that we do for self-love, you don't need a lot of money to do it, but some
Mm,
you need a lot. Like if you're going to book
yeah,
yourself a holiday, you need
yeah.
to plan your finances to make sure you can afford that, and plan it in such a way that it will not enter inside your throat, kind of. How do you say that one in English?
I can't help
So
you. Sorry.
it's such an individual thing, and it's a thing that each person has to sit with themselves to plan their own personal collection.
I mean, this collection thing, that also should be made a thing because we need to learn how to collect ourselves. Honestly, that's a new one. Even me, I've never heard you say that. So we're going to like patent that and make it a this fabulous code.
Collection.
And Lachelle is agreeing with you. Say the rest of
Replacing self-care
2026,
with collecting myself.
we are collecting ourselves
Collecting
for the
myself
rest. Yeah,
for the rest
because
of 2036.
that's it. That's it. We are all collecting ourselves because,
Mm,
and on a serious note, I think sometimes if we find the humor, it makes it takes the pressure off because sometimes self-care seems to be like a what is this one again, as women we're not supposed to, but yeah, we will collect ourselves, all
yes.
of us. I think we
I think
that
we should put
magic
our
will
hand
be
on our
pledge,
chest. And
yeah,
I will
on our
collect
chest
I will
and
collect myself. I will,
making a pledge. Yeah, it's really really important.
yeah.
And it doesn't have to be so. I was thinking about this recently because I know that there was a time, like you said, there was a time in my life that going away on holiday was not even a thing that I would think of so much because of the season of life, my responsibilities to my children, and all of the things that were hanging in my life at the time. It was not a thing, but I could find other ways. Like you said, it's different for different people. So, we it's not about doing it a certain way. It's not about doing it how somebody else is doing it. It's about finding what works for you per time. Because as your life evolves, as your life progresses, you'll be able to do it in different ways on different days, different things, ways that we'll be doing it. So this collection is key. I think Lachelle will be the chairperson of the collection. At this rate. She's the oh yeah, she did actually say that she's there. She's the president of the collection club. So this is we give this to you, honorary president of the collection club, Michelle. Oh my goodness, thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. This has been so good. Thank you, Mrs. Fabulous. Thank you for everything that you've shared with us. So we're gradually coming to the end of this, and you can't believe that it's nearly 45 minutes. Like time is just jumping ahead. And I have one or two more, but I'm just waiting to see if anyone has questions. Thank you everyone for being here. Let's know how this has been for you. Thank you for all your comments, Lachelle. But I know we have more people in the house. Do let us know how you're finding this session. Any comments, or if you have any questions for our fabulous guest, Mrs. Fabulous, the wife of Mr. Fantastic, who is in the house. Okay. So my next question, and I think the next three questions, we're going to kind of try and paraphrase, like cut it short because of time, but I want us to still touch on it. Is about rediscovering yourself. Have you ever had a season in your life? And this is me asking you as somebody who has known you at least for your whole life. And
Mm.
I think the whole time that I've known you, even since you were a child, you've always been that multidimensional person. Like you've never been one that is like, this is the only thing we know about her. He's this and she's this. So all of this now that you are now is not a surprise to me personally. But I just wondered, because again, it's one thing for me thinking that way, is another thing, from your experience going through your own life. Have you ever gone through any season when you felt like you maybe lost yourself in the midst of being multidimensional, or appearing to everyone that you are multidimensional? Have you ever had a time when, you know, you feel lost, or you feel like, am I in the right path? And you've had to like maybe redirect yourself.
Mm. Yes, yes, I have. It's a easy answer before I wander off again. And I will use two examples. And the first example was when the children were still young. You know, when the children are much younger. So for ladies or gentlemen that their children are still in those early formative years, and you feel like where even my talent, my skills, my abilities, nothing is not courageous. It's a season, it's a
Yeah.
phase, and it's a time that will pass. But one thing I learned from that season, when I just felt like I know there's more in me, I know I can do
Mm-hmm.
more, but where am I going to put this baby gone if I want to even attempt the more? Like, you half of
Yeah.
these things that are bubbling in my head that I'm doing now, I couldn't have attempted or dared to do them when my kids were much younger, because you're probably wondering, where are you going to put the kids, or is mom available, blah blah blah. So all those things, just you pack your ideas to one side, that is not time. But one thing I learned from remember I said I was going to use two examples.
Yeah.
So example one was use help. So
Mm.
even if your children are younger, you know that you can't quite do all that is bubbling in your head, but you
Mm.
have a friend that comes every other Saturday to do something in your neighborhood or something, and she doesn't mind sitting with your children for 3 hours while you
Mm.
continue to write your book. Use Where I'm going with that is, use people's help,
Mm.
use support. So I know maybe it's in our culture, maybe it's in our I can do all things, I have strength, I have power, I'm superwoman attitude that maybe I had at a point. I think sometimes we should remove that cape, and
Mm.
and take the help that
Yeah.
we're offered, or the help that is available. And even some people are able to help us, willing to help us, but we have not even asked them to help us. So,
Mm.
that's the analogy of when I almost lost it. I had no direction, no, but I went back to the
Yeah.
people that could help me. I went back to people that could help me look after my children, people that could advise me on how to pursue this thing I'm trying to get. So I used the help that I had available. And that help can be in the form of family, it can be in the form of professional seniors, it can be in the form of seniors in the industry. So use the help in the stage of your life at that time to be able to overcome, because we would all have those seasons. And the second, because I'm mindful of time, the second time I was going to refer to was actually in the COVID year. The
Mm.
year where we did Slay That Challenge.
Mm.
Before I did the Slay That Challenge, sorry, I'm referring to Slay That Challenge, like all of us are super working moms here. The super working mom, well, we belong to a super working mom community. So for those that don't know about super working mom, we belong to a community of women that come together to help each other maximize time and manifest dreams. So before I joined, I had this, in my real life, I'm a radiographer, I'm an MC, I like to organize, I like to gather people. Yeah, let's come, let's do something and gather fun and entertain, and I like that kind of stuff. But I cannot leave my 9 to 5 to 100% pursue this. I cannot leave this to 100% pursue. So I was trying to
mm,
merge both. And after I did the Slade Out challenge in 2020, it was like an eye opener because I ended up merging both. So these
mm.
days, you will see me emceeing in my uniform at
Yeah.
work. That
Mm,
that could I could not even dream of that because I didn't
yes.
even picture that happening. But it was because I connected myself as part of the structure to a group of
Yeah.
people that can help.
Yeah.
So you would have moments like that where you feel like this dimension is not dimensioning at all.
Yeah.
That's why you might need to plug.
Mm,
You might need to plug yourself to a
mm.
a group,
Community.
a
Yeah.
community, somewhere
Mm,
where
yeah.
try to catch fire.
Yes. Yeah. Absolutely. So, so good. So, so good. And it's just amazing the power of community. And shout out to all the super working moms in the house. I see Lachelle. I see Rhoda. Actually, Rhoda crept in because I didn't realize you were here, Rhoda. And Rhoda is the president. And I was saying it was Lachelle. My glasses were playing tricks on me. It's Rhoda. So I think Rhoda and Lachelle, they're sisters anyway. They can preside together. They can be the presidents of the collection club together. Welcome, ladies. Thank you so much for being here. But yeah, it's so amazing the power of community. And I think until you belong to one, it's difficult to explain it. It's not something that you can really explain. But when you are part of the right community, and there's a right community for everybody, as much as we've benefited so much from Super Working Mom, we would say find the community that is right for you, one that will, will support you to achieve your dreams, but being part of a community, for me as well, I don't even want to start going to the story, is one of the most life-changing decisions that I've ever made. So yeah, do plug in and use help. I like what you said. And I think sometimes we almost feel bad for asking for help. But there are people, sometimes you have people that are actually willing to help. So if you have people that are willing to help, please use the help, especially in that season, because that season won't last forever. And that help could be like the missing link for you. Thank you. Those points are very, very, very key. We're rounding up now, and I just think this has been amazing. You have shared so many key points that I think, yeah, if we were going to start a business of what do you call them, catchphrases, yeah, we would have a lot of content to start our business with. So yeah, I'll just try and round this up. I'm just also asking our lovely audience, who, first of all, thank you for being here for this long. If you have any questions for Mrs. Fabulous, please do ask. And she's here. And you have to bear with her English. Even me, I can't, unfortunately, the English is, you need
Applaud you,
special grace
applaud you,
to
applaud
understand the English is from Ibadan. So please bear. She's very brother. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Queen Esther, great to have you here. Thank you for joining us today. So, one word of encouragement or two, maybe, for any woman who is listening, who is feeling stuck. I know we've talked about so many things, so many tips, and I'm sure that everyone would have picked, what's useful for them, in all of the tips that you've shared today. And thank you so much for that. But if you were going to just share a word or two, because we all have moments of like, "Ah, where do we go from here?" And we may have women who are listening to us or watching us today who are at that point where they're like, "I'm really discouraged. I don't know how to go forward from here. I'm stuck. I don't know what the next point is." What would you say to
you.
that woman?
I feel like women, because we
And
might
men, yeah, yeah,
have
yeah, yeah.
that,
We might, yeah,
because
absolutely.
men get left out in this
Sorry.
kind of apology. That's what you should say.
Oh,
Apology.
sorry. Apologies.
But the first thing I'd like to say is it's not going to be forever. We've touched on that already.
Mm,
This too shall pass. It might look like it's about to take your life, but it won't. It will pass. And as we know in the Bible, He will not allow you go through something that He hasn't equipped you enough to go through. When
Yeah.
He says when you're going through the fire, He will be there. It does
Mm-hmm.
not say if, it says when. So it's almost certain that you will go through the fire. But
Mm-hmm.
it takes me back to, remember when I was saying earlier about the structure and the
Yeah.
source.
Yeah.
So it takes me back to that source, and it takes me back to those gentle reminders. You said in your word that when I go through the fire, you will be with me. I am reminding you of your word and your promises to me,
Mm-hmm.
just to continue to keep yourself together. I'm not going to use the word collect again because it's not going to be okay at this very point. So return to your source.
Yeah.
Stay connected to the source. And
Mm.
there will be times where you have big dreams, but I don't know how to explain it. But it's like everything has now scattered.
Mm.
But to you, it looks like everything has scattered. I know if we all bring out all our different stories as
Mm.
to how everything looked like it had scattered to us, but it's from that scattering that you managed to write.
Yeah.
It's from that mess that your message came. Just
Yeah.
remember that the one that, if for non-Christians that are listening to us or watching us right now, it goes back to, if you're not connected to, maybe it makes sense to us because we're connected to the source, which is Lord Jesus Christ. You're more than welcome to join if you would
Mm-hmm.
like to connect to this source, because as you can see, we are connected to the source, and we know that even if life is lifing and things are being thrown at us from left, right, and center, we can go back to the one that never fails, the one that will
Mm.
never change, the one that promised and will always fulfill his promises of our lives. And we can cry to him even when we
Mm.
can't cry to our husbands, and we can't cry in the Spelky Mom community, we can't cry in our churches, we can't cry at work. You can cry to your God and say,
Mm.
"You got to get me now, otherwise everything will scatter."
Mm-hmm.
You go back to him and he will get you. And I will go back to another point of staying near to the fire, staying close to a community, a group. We cannot overemphasize the importance, because if you're going solo, they say if you go together, you go further.
Yeah.
As that
If
proverb.
you go, if you go alone, if you go, yeah. But that's it.
So
If you
you
go,
understand? Yeah.
you go farther if you go together.
Yeah. We go further
You
if we
go
go
fast
together.
if you go alone. Yeah.
Yeah, you just go fast if you go, and the tendency of crashing is
Going
actually
nowhere. Yeah.
you
Mhm.
end up losing steam,
Yeah.
running out of ideas, and running out of energy. But if you belong to a group, a community, you stay connected to your source, but you stay in a community and you're using your structure.
Mm.
What it goes.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, so good. So good. Thank you. Yeah, tough times will come, but they don't last forever. I mean, I think we can all look back and see periods where we think that's where we'll be stuck for life. But
That's
here
the
we
end.
are, years down the line, we're like, okay, that
Yeah,
I didn't know that
that's
was going to
the
end.
end.
So
Yeah.
it would end. And I think the key is having that support and that community. I think is very, 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 very key. And I know, because I know many people that the power of community has helped them through. And also what you spoke about being connected to the source, staying close to the fire, all of those things are really, really, really important. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And thank you to the ladies in the chat. Everyone agrees with what you're saying. Lachelle's cape is, she burnt it. So there's no superhero cape. I guess that's what Lachelle means.
That's
There's no cape, accept all the help.
the we
Um,
need the
and of
cake.
course, co-chairperson of the collection club. Congratulations. I'll give you a handshake, Rhoda and Michelle. Well done, well done, well done. Thank you so much for all your comments. We're rounding this up now. I just wanted you to let everyone know how they can contact you, because you do so many things. You are an MC, you are an excellent MC. You MC with your husband. It's not because you are my sibling. is because you are really good at what you do. So I will shout on the rooftops for everyone to hear that if your event does not have the Bella as your host, it's
Yeah,
not.
gonna. You
You
are
are,
gonna.
yes. So yeah, you are fabulous MCs. And how can people connect with you to, have you host their events, just with Mrs. Fabulous, all the amazing, wonderful things that you do?
Mm,
Can you please tell us?
mm. So I'll start with radiography. So I found that a lot of people want to talk about my child who is considering their careers,
Right.
and they're thinking of options.
Mm.
If you want to speak to me about your child exploring being a radiographer, I enjoy breaking it down. So
Yeah.
that's one thing I also enjoy doing. We didn't get time to talk about that. And I enjoy seeing people actually come in that
Mm.
space.
Yeah.
So if somebody is in
Mm.
that category, or maybe they're thinking of switching career, or their child is choosing uni, and you want to bounce off what is this radiography all about,
Mm.
give me a bell, we'll have a chat and I can talk you through. Second one is the Bella's your host. So the Bella's your host, I co-host with my husband, is Mr. Fantastic and Mrs. Fabulous. If you don't have Mr. Fantastic and Mrs. Fabulous, like they said at your event, and we host any event, with birthdays, wedding receptions, traditional wedding ceremonies, fashion show, charity fundraising event. We actually did a memorial as well. So any event that you need hosting, we bring the kind of vibe that you
You
want.
want. Yeah. I like
You
that about what you do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's that for the Bellas, your host. So we have a website. Just Google the Bellas, and the Bellas, you see my face, geragba, like this on the thing, and today's face on the website. And we're also on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube,
TikTok.
TikTok. So you can find us on all social media platforms. And lastly is Gist with Mrs. Fabulous. Gist with Mrs. Fabulous is a gathering for married women where we try and improve because we're not trying to avenge anybody's disobedience until our own obedience is complete. So
Mm.
we're encouraging other women and encouraging one another in this race, in our marital race, to keep going, to keep empowering ourselves, because we will do our part.
Mm.
Because the best you can do is your own,
Mm.
isn't it? You can
Yeah.
encourage others to do their own, but the best you can do is the one that you have done with your own hands. And you can say, I've done according to how the book told us to do. I've done my best and I've left the rest. So help me God. So
Mm.
we encourage each other, support each other, ask burning questions, have funny conversations, and just help build each other's
Yeah.
marriage up. Because one
Mm.
will chase thousand, two will chase 10,000. Imagine us in the multiple of 10,000 that we're chasing.
Mm-hmm.
Everything have scattered on the other side. So, just Mrs. Fabulous stuff is mainly found on my social media, or the Bella social media platforms, Fabulous Funky on Instagram, and Funke Bella everywhere else. Just Google and you'll find. If you're interested in coming to any of our events, please
Yeah.
keep an eye on our social media
Social
to know
media.
when the next one's coming up soon. So keep an eye
Yeah.
out for that.
Yeah. Yeah. There's a lot happening, and I don't know how much you are ready to share, but there's a lot happening behind the scenes. But just with Mrs. Fabulous, particularly, that is really excited.
Yay!
Uh, and I'm sure when you're ready, you share with everyone. So I'm really biting my tongue. I'm not saying
Bite, bite,
anything.
bite,
Not
bite.
sharing. Biting myself. Well, yeah, well done. Well done. I am so proud of you. All the things that you're doing, I am super, super, super proud of you. Well done. Keep going, keep going. You've got this.
Thank
You've
you.
got this. Well done.
Thank
Thank
you.
you so much. This has been so good. This
Thank
has been so good. I think one of my main concerns at the beginning was how I'll be speaking English to you for the whole time.
you. I didn't manage that
I
very
did
well.
well. Is you. I did well, but
Applaud you, applaud
you,
you, my people. My head is bowed.
it's
My
you.
head
So
is
that's
bowed.
I didn't do my job. None of my bad behavior came to me,
My
but
head is bowed. I
you
applaud
can't hide yours. But we love you like that. Don't worry. Oh gosh, so thank you. We're going to round this up now. Thank you so much, everyone, for being here. Thank you, Coco, for your uh, comment about the power of community. Absolutely, you need the right community. I can talk about being in the right community for different phases and stages of my life, and I'm biting my tongue as well. I'm not going to start, but absolutely true. And Lachelle says that his word remains true regardless of our circumstances. That's what you got. That's a big take home for you today. So thank you so much. Another comment from Lachelle: structure self care collection. Yes, collection. That's a key word. Source. Yeah, honestly, that's so funny, but that's going to stick with me for a long time. So thank you so much for that. I think with that, we've come to the end of our session. It's been
Yay.
amazing, Mrs. Fabulous. Thank you so much for being here. Thank
Thank
you
you
for
for
all
having
the nuggets. Thank you for all the ones that we will need maybe to find a dictionary or something to
me.
help us understand some of your
Applaud you, applaud you.
yeah, but I'm sure we all got one or two things. So thank you once again to everyone in the room. Thank you for spending your evening with us. Please do watch out for future dates of Bloom and Flourish Live. We have a session at the moment once every month. I'm looking to increase that in future, but for now, once every month, where we invite somebody, a special guest like we have today, and we'll talk about different topics that apply to us as women. So thank you so much, everyone. And until the next edition of the Bloom and Flourish Live, it's goodbye from me. And thank you so much for watching. Thank you.
Thank
Bye,
you. Thank
everyone.
you. Bye.
Bye.
Thanks for
Bye.
having
Bye.
me. Bye. Bye,
Bye.
everyone. Ó dìgbà ó dàbọ̀. Bye. Upload you.